Hi there guys, it's Jay here. Trust you're all well. Just wanted to share very quickly with you a strategy that I came across using the Supertrend Indicator and the RSI Indicator. Okay, this strategy is very simple to follow. It is very effective as well. Back testing, I've been getting win rates of between 60, 70% and 90% winning trades. So basically 4 out of 5 trades, sometimes 3 out of 5 have been winning trades. And I'll just explain to you very quickly now how we go about implementing and using the strategy. So first up, what we've got to do is you've got to open up your TradingView account so that you've got your charts open. Today we're looking at the US dollar Canadian dollar pair. The two indicators that you're going to need the Supertrend indicator and the RSI indicator. So to open up your indicators, click on indicators, type in Supertrend, and you want to pick up the first one that pops up there, Supertrend, with the 3,100 likes. It's this one over here, Dominic Kossel, I think is the name. And you want to apply that onto your charts. Okay. Now you'll see here that this indicator plots for you long and short signals. Short, long, short, long. We use these signals as our entry points, but we use them selectively. We don't just enter a long at a long and a short position at a short call. We are selective, so we're only going to pick one or the other. And that's where the RSI indicator comes in. Okay, now before we open the RSI indicator, you will need to make some changes to the Supertrend indicator. So if you click on your Supertrend indicator there on the top left, click on the settings button, okay, the little cog. You can see there you can adjust the factor and the period. So what you want to do is you want to set in there a factor of 3 and a period of 7. And you'll see it changed ever so slightly. Next up, we're going to put in our RSI indicator. Now, many of you are probably familiar with the RSI indicator, so let's go ahead and let's just open that up. Relative Strength Index. There we go. Okay. Now, this one I've got here looks different to the normal one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it standard. Okay. Reset settings. Okay, so this is what your RSI will look like when you first open it up. Now we need to make a few changes to it. Okay, so go back to the cogwheel, click on that, click on style. Okay, the RSI line, you can leave it as such, it's not a problem. Upper band and lower band, let's just close the upper band, switch that off, and then the lower band, you want to change the setting to 50. Okay, and then make it maybe a thicker white line or any kind of color line that you want, and we'll make it into a solid line instead of a dash line. Okay, maybe the RSI, I will just make it thicker, just so that's easier for us to follow in this video. And then you can remove the background. Click OK. So that's your setup, all right? You've got your Supertrend indicator plotted onto your chart over there, and you've got your RSI plotted beneath. Let me remove these over here. Remove all drawing tools. Okay. So now, the way this strategy works is you wait for a long or a short signal to come through on the Supertrend. Okay. Now, once the Supertrend signal does come through, you go from the 5-minute chart. Sorry, I should have said from the beginning, this is a 5-minute and a 1-hour chart strategy. You can probably use it on other time frames. I haven't really tried it. I've just been using it on 5-minute and 1 hour. So we'll stick with that for now. So go, you're on 5 minutes to start with. I use the Heiken Ishii candles that you can see here. You can use regular candles if you so please. It's entirely up to you. I just prefer the Heiken Ishii candles because it gives a clearer indication of the momentum and direction of a particular move. All right. So starting over here, let's have a look. We have a long signal that's popped up over here. Now, what we're going to do then is we go into our 1 hour chart. All right. And this is where the RSI comes into play. Okay. Now, to use the RSI for this strategy, when you get a long signal, okay, on the 5-minute chart, it's over there. You want to make a note of the time that that long signal came through. I can see that it's 5 minutes past 9. What I do is I put my cursor over the RSI on the 5-minute chart so that it is in line with the long, and then I press Alt V on my keyboard, and you can see it's put a line on that RSI. Now, quite easy, we flip over onto the 1 hour chart, and you can see there the line that we placed, the vertical line, is over there, and you can see there the RSI is above the 50 line, the midline there. That then would be a good entry. Okay, so the way this works is if a long signal comes through on the 5-minute chart, when you switch over to the 1 hour chart, you want to see the RSI to be above the 50 line. Okay, this 50 line is the middle of the RSI, between the high and the low of the RSI. You want, for a long, you want that RSI to be above 50. For a short, you want the RSI to be below 50. The RSI on the 1 hour is basically your entry confirmation. Okay, so let's go back and have a look and see on the 5-minute chart. The 5-minute chart is when you'll probably spend most of your time. So we've deduced now that a long position has been signaled. All right, and then over on the 1 hour, the RSI is above 50. So we have confirmed entry. So we would enter into this particular trade. So obviously there's no signals that arrived since, so we'll just use this one. Looking at that, if you had entered at the top of that candle and you had worked your way up and you had gotten out over here, then you're looking at a 0.22% or 28 pips of profit on that particular trade. Now obviously this trade is still running, so we would wait and see further. We would have a stop loss that we would place. Normally what I would recommend for stop losses is that you see this line that comes with the super trend. There's a line over here, that line right underneath the candle where the long was signaled. I would start my stop loss there, and then as the price moves up, I would trail my stop loss according to the line that follows underneath the candles. Okay, so you can see over here our stop loss was almost hit. However, we would have got a few pips profit from that. Alternatively, you don't have to wait for the to exit manually from this trade. You can actually set a take profit. So maybe you would say, okay, as a matter of course, I will just set an automatic take profit of, say, 15 pips. And then when the take profit point reached, you take your profits and you're done. You're out of the trade. Okay. So now let's have a look back at the next signal that appeared. Over here, we had a short signal appear on the 5-minute chart. So what we'll do is we'll take our green line and we will just move it so that it's underneath that short signal. We flip over to the 1 hour chart. All right, and then we see where the RSI is in relation to the green line that we've placed. And we can see there that the green line is showing that the RSI is above the 50 line. So then we would not enter that short trade. Remember, RSI below 50, enter shorts. RSI above 50, we enter long positions. And it's a good thing too, because you can see from this particular chart that that entry wouldn't have been good. You would have entered here and there's no more downward action. You would have been stopped out and you would have made a loss on that particular trade. So then let's move along to the next one. Let's have a look and see. We had a long position called over there. We go over to our 1 hour chart. RSI is above 50. So we would have entered there. Okay. Unfortunately, that trade wouldn't have been such a good trade. If we had entered there, then we potentially could have gotten 1 pip out of that particular trade. So that one would have been a loss. If you were watching it and you've got balls of steel and you move your stop loss away from the price when it's approaching, then you could have actually caught all of that up to the top there. So you're looking at over 30 pips, all the way from that long up to the top over there. Okay. This strategy, like I say, it doesn't give 100% win rate. It gives 4 out of 5, sometimes 3 out of 5. This would have been considered a loss because you would have lost out on maybe 3 or 4 pips because the price hit your stop loss. Okay, but then you can see in the next trade that you more than made that up and then some because of the amount that it went up there. There we go, you're looking at almost 30 pips for that sort of particular trade. So let's move on again to the next trade. Okay, signal of short, that was called. We've got a little green line across to that. Flip over to the 1 hour chart and then see where we are. Again, we see the RSI is above 50, so we would not enter that trade. Okay, coming back, and again you can see that it was a good decision. Okay, because the price didn't go further from there, it actually went up, so you would have been stopped out if you had just followed the short signal and didn't use anything else as a confirmation. Okay, let's have a look at a couple more. So moving across to the next long position that was signaled. Okay, and then we flip over onto our 1 hour chart. Again, you can see RSI is above 50, so short position is not on the cards. Okay, it's a long position, and we got a long call there. All right, so we know that that position was good to enter. So we entered, and we would have gone up 0.1%, 12.7 pips. Okay, more or less on that particular trade. All right, the next up was a short position here. Now, you would have noticed by now that the RSI on the 1 hour chart is above the 50 for quite some time. So we know that this short wouldn't have been given as a confirmed entry. Okay, and let's just move on to the next one. That long position over there, we go over to our 1 hour chart. And then we see here, okay, now this is a 50-50 call, right? Having a look there, you can see that the RSI has just crossed over the 50. There is a tiny little gap. Let's see how big that gap is. There is a tiny little gap there. So technically, yes, this is a long entry, but it is a little bit 50-50 because of how close it is to the line. It could quite easily just reversed and gone back down again. We wouldn't have known. The further up the line you go, the stronger the position or stronger the entry would be, particularly if you get a long position and the line is going upwards above the 50 line. Okay, but you could have entered this trade if you did. All right, let's go back onto the 5 minutes. If you did, then this would have been an awesome trade to get into. You would have gotten in there and you would have worked all the way up to there. You would have gotten 50 pips if you had waited and if you had got out at the right time, of course. Okay, you could have got 50 pips out of that particular trade. Okay. All right then, guys. So that's just the basics of this particular strategy. I've shown you a few examples of how it works. You look for your signals on the 5 minute chart, and then you go back onto your RSI on the 1 hour chart in order to get your entry confirmation. Okay. You follow this, then you should get more wins than losses. Try it out for yourself. See how it works out for you. Okay. Obviously, bear in mind, I'm no financial advisor. This trading strategy is entirely up to you if you want to use it or not. You decide on that. I can't be held responsible if it doesn't work out for you. But so far for me, it has been working out. And this is a strategy that I am working with quite a bit at the moment. Now, just to end off on, I do have an advanced version of this particular strategy where I use some different settings, some different indicators, just all to add better confirmations and order, also to optimize the entries into these particular trades. I'm a member of a trading Discord called the S&B. I'll put the link in the description below. Everybody's welcome to come and join that particular Discord. We are all traders there. We all help each other out. There's a lot of useful information that is on there. There is paid content if you want to learn particular trading methods that are proprietary to that Discord, then you are happy to take the courses. And once you take the courses, then you get access to the advanced version of this particular strategy. Okay, the advanced version, like I said, it uses some different indicators and just looks to optimize your entries so that you can get extra trades in, and also just to help you make your decisions a little bit clearer and a bit more efficient. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I hope that this has helped you, and good luck with your trading.